All right, guys, we have to get ahead of a major propaganda story that is breaking today and happening exactly as predicted. I have no special psychic insight. I just knew it was going to happen because we understand how Donald Trump operates. We have received the estimated third quarter GDP number for the United States, and annualized GDP growth for Q3 was an astounding, incredible 33.1% GDP growth. Wow. And if you look at just that number at a superficial level, turn your brain off, throw logic into the trash, and do no research whatsoever, you might say, this country is doing unbelievably well economically. We are back. Wow, this is unbelievable. And you are going to get hit by some insane propaganda from Donald Trump and his campaign in the next 5 days leading up to the election, which will try to convince you of exactly that. It is BS, and you must be prepared for it. So GDP changes are relative to the prior status quo of the GDP. Remember that in the second quarter, due to coronavirus, U.S. GDP dropped more than 31%. That's a record. We have never had as big a GDP decrease as we had in the second quarter of this year. So when we say GDP is up 33% in the third quarter, it is up relative to the record decline that we had in the second quarter. Before this year, the biggest ever decrease to the GDP was in 1921's second quarter of 28.6%. The biggest increase was actually 40% in 1879 Q4. The country was very different then. It's not even really relevant to compare that. But okay. And just as I predicted 3 months ago, when the second quarter numbers came out, Donald Trump tweeted this morning exactly what I told you he would. I've been preparing you for this for 3 months. Donald Trump tweeting, quote, GDP number just announced, biggest and best in the history of our country, and not even close. Next year will be fantastic. However, sleepy Joe Biden and his proposed record-setting tax increase would kill it all. So glad this great GDP number came out before November 3rd. Yeah, he is glad. So let's understand what's going on here. Be armed with the numbers. If you work for me, imagine I hire you to be my, hype man or woman or whatever, and I pay you a salary of $50,000 a year. Okay. If after the first year, I give you a 31% cut, that lowers your salary from $50,000 a year to $34,500. And then the next year I say, hey, I'm going to give you a 33% raise. This is a huge record raise. I've never given anybody a 33% raise. You're going to get it. And after the 31% cut and the 33% raise, you are actually still well below your original salary of $50,000. Now, this is exactly what they're doing here. There are people who do not understand math who think, well, we went down 31% and up 33%. We're back. We're better than ever. We're recovered. But of course, that's not the case. Remember that if something goes down 50%, it then needs to go up 100% to get back to where we were. I mean, just let's apply this to make it easy to the number 100, which we're putting up on the screen. If you start with 100 and lose 31%, you're down to 69. That's easy. If you then get 33% back from that 69, you're only up to about 91. So you are still about 8.5% below where you started. So now, 6 months after the end of the first quarter, we had the second quarter and the third quarter, and we are still down 8.23% from where we started on April 1st. This is a stunning economic contraction. And case in point, the GDP, after this explosive record-setting growth that Donald Trump is bragging about, our GDP is now back up to where it was 2.5 years ago in the first quarter of 2018. You are going to get hit very, very hard with propaganda and talking points, but now you understand the math of it. One of the ways that the right distorts reality is to ignore the recent past. And if you look just at Q3, wow, 33% up. But that's only if you ignore the second quarter. I'm not expecting the media to highlight this and to make it clear. And you need to come armed with the information yourself, because this is Trump's last stand, folks. 80 million people have already voted. We have 5 days until the election. I told you this would be the last ditch effort to say, we did it. Don't fall for it. Don't let other people fall for it. Friends don't let friends fall for obviously bad math. That's GDP. Let's now talk about coronavirus and the stock market. One of our sponsors today is Vincero Watches, and they're giving you 15% off everything in the store. If you're a guy looking for the perfect way to refresh your style, one of the best investments you can make is in a high-quality wristwatch. Vincero is an American company that has made it possible for everyday people to afford a premium watch. Almost everything they sell is within the range of about $200, but it'll look like you spent a lot more. All of their watches are made in small batches from top quality materials, and they just look great. I went on their site and picked out a watch from their Icon Automatic collection. The one I got is in mesh matte black, and I love it. It's simple, sleek, elegant, goes great with just about anything I'm wearing, and I've gotten a ton of compliments on it. You'll get 15% off everything in their store when you go to davidpakman.com/Vincero. I've put the link right underneath this video.